Hello, my name is Sanaa, and I'm a Year 1 Grade 10 RVSLA student from Bow Valley High School in Cochrane. I'm here today to share a part of my journey so far. I'm not only proudly half Nigerian, but I'm also a member of the queer community, and though my sexuality isn't necessarily something that I've always been secretive about, this will be my first time saying this out loud to a large platform. When I moved to Cochrane and started attending my new elementary school, I faced some challenges. Kids weren't always kind to me, and peers, including ones I considered my friends, would call me names related to the color of my skin and make fun of my hair. I knew it was wrong, but I just wanted to have friends, so I pretended like it didn't bother me. This is where I began to feel like I had to laugh at hurtful things in order to fit in. These remarks continued all my way through that time at the school. When I was about to start middle school, I had the opportunity to go to a new school that was across town from the one the rest of my former classmates were going to. I was hopeful for a fresh start, but within the first half an hour, boys were already making fun of my race and appearance, which was pretty disheartening. Transitioning to a different middle school across town seemed like a chance for a fresh start. However, the reality hit hard when people wasted no time targeting my race and appearance, leaving me disheartened once again. The lack of discussion around racism at schools made it even more challenging to navigate these hurtful experiences. After this experience, and without the topic of hateful speech and racism being talked about in school, I came to the conclusion that some people are just like that. And I convinced myself to believe that there wasn't really much I could do about it. I was made to feel uncomfortable in my skin, and it was even more complicated to come to terms with who I was, along with figuring out what some of my feelings meant. I fell into the spiral of discomfort and sadness. Why was I being punished for simply existing? As I continued to grow, I started to hang out with girls in the year above me, which at the time made me feel like the coolest person ever. They were cool and confident and beautiful and knew as much about yourself as you could in middle school. Before we actually knew each other, I heard them standing up for themselves against rude remarks along with what they had believed was right. And one of the girls, being proudly queer, made me want nothing more than to be just like them, so that's what I did. Their influence allowed me to begin to stand up for myself and fight for what I genuinely believed was right. When they left the school and I was still there, mean people noticed that I'd gone back into being in my own shell, and without the protection of the older people, they would come up to me and call me racial slurs in an attempt to get a rise out of me. I would tell teachers and principals, but I always felt like nothing that was said to them would genuinely change how they acted towards me. To this day, I still don't understand how any human could do such a thing to another human, let alone a child. Up until last year, I was nice and quiet and didn't really have the nerve to stand up for myself without help from others. I would take hateful language that was being thrown at me and do nothing about it. It wasn't until I joined RVSLA and started to make some new friends and surround myself with like-minded positive people that I stopped letting others speak to me with hatred. I started putting my own dignity first and realized that not everybody is a little bit racist as a part of their personality. There was actually two memorable moments this year in the program, one right at the beginning and one right near the end. In our last RVSLA session, I had the opportunity to attend a breakout workshop with a former RVSLA student, Charlie, who is currently entering their education degree at the University of Lethbridge. They offered a presentation on queering education and talked about how much queer literature in schools and how it would benefit people of my age. I wish I saw more of us there. In one day, it demonstrated to me how far we've come with champions for the cause like our alumni. It also demonstrated how far we could go to normalize talking about it. So here I am today, a little bit more confident and in being able to stand up and talk about it. And I want to say proudly that these are my values and be one to start more conversations about diversity and racism in our schools. And most importantly, about the impact of each other and how people can affect people's lives negatively and positively. As I reflect on my journey, I've learned that embracing kindness and acceptance truly can make a huge difference. By sharing experiences, I ask each of you to consider choosing to be empathetic and understanding as well as kind in every interaction. Let's create a world where differences are celebrated, where kindness is our language, and where acceptance is our norm. Thank you for listening and joining me on this journey, and I hope to work towards a more compassionate and accepting world.